Beloved chosen one, still your heart. Heaven itself has paused right now, in this very instant, because something eternal must reach you. This is not coincidence, not the algorithm, not luck. This is divine interception. The Spirit of God has stopped everything around you because your name has echoed through eternity. And heaven refuses to let you miss this message. You have been sensing it, the tension, the strange quietness, the weight in your chest that you could not explain. You thought it was fatigue or confusion, but it was not. It was heaven whispering. Listen. The same hand that created galaxies is gently tapping your shoulder, saying, "Be still. I need you to hear me." There are moments in time when the Almighty interrupts human routine to reset His chosen ones. This is one of those moments. You have been walking, working, praying, enduring, and yet, deep inside, you know something must shift. You are not called to move in circles. You are called to ascend. The delay, the silence, the pressure, they are not punishment, but purification. God is removing every voice that competes with His. Chosen one, you are not like the rest. You were never meant to blend in. Your pain has purpose. Your scars are sacred. The nights you cried in silence were not wasted. They became incense before the throne of God. Every tear was a seed in the soil of destiny. And now heaven has paused because that seed is about to break open. When heaven pauses, it is not because God has forgotten, it is because He is focusing. He is rearranging your path, shifting the unseen, moving hearts and circumstances for your sake. Some people had to leave, some doors had to close, and some plans had to fail so the divine plan could unfold. The pause is mercy in disguise. You have been asking, why does everything feel quiet? Why can't I hear God the way I used to? But this quietness is not absence, it is recalibration. Heaven has silenced the noise around you, so the still, small voice can be heard again. You are standing at a sacred intersection where grace meets instruction. The Father is whispering, "Listen close. What I say next will set the course of your destiny." Beloved, when the Creator pauses, creation holds its breath. You may not feel movement, but movement is happening behind the veil. What seems like delay is divine alignment. Every moment of stillness is heavy with preparation. Heaven is setting the stage for your unveiling. You are being refined, purified, and fortified, because what's coming next requires a stronger version of you. This is not a message to entertain you, it is a call to awaken you. The reason you feel shaken is because your spirit knows the season is changing. The comfort zones that once held you are now too small. The Spirit of the Lord is stirring within, saying, "Get ready, be still before me, for I am about to move in your life." Do not scroll past this moment. Don't let distraction rob you of destiny. Heaven paused because this is your divine appointment. The Lord is saying, "I am not far, I am near. I am the stillness within your storm." Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 8. "The Lord Himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Let those words settle in your soul. You are not walking alone, even in silence. The same God who paused heaven for you now walks beside you into what's next. He is preparing doors you cannot see yet, moving hearts and circumstances to align with your destiny. What seems delayed is simply being perfected. Heaven is not ignoring you, it is arranging a greater testimony than you expected. Wait in faith. Movement is happening even in stillness. Your obedience in this pause will echo louder than any noise. Every time you choose faith over fear, heaven records it. Every time you refuse to give up, your crown grows brighter. God is not testing you to break you. He's proving that you can carry the weight of your next season. So stand still, chosen one, and breathe. Feel the divine presence settling over your life right now. Every battle, every tear, every unanswered prayer is about to make sense. You are being prepared for something holy, something that requires the silence before the sound. Hold steady. Heaven is almost ready to release what's yours. If this message has found you exactly when your heart needed confirmation, don't let it fade away. Type 777 inches, the comments below, as a prophetic sign that you are ready to pause with heaven and listen. Like this message. Share it with another soul who needs to remember that God still interrupts the noise to reach His chosen ones. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel so you never miss another divine word meant for you. Heaven has paused for you. Chosen one, because your purpose is about to resume. Beloved chosen one, the weight you've been feeling is not random. The heaviness that has followed you like a shadow is not punishment, it is signal. Heaven has been tugging at the hidden cry within you, the one you rarely allow to escape your lips. You have mastered the art of smiling while silently bleeding, of holding everything together while something deep inside you trembles. But today, God leans close and says, I have heard that sound in your soul. You thought no one noticed. You thought your quiet breaking went unseen. But the same eyes that watch over the sparrow have watched over you. The Lord has recorded every silent plea, every exhausted whisper, every moment when your heart said, God, I can't do this anymore. You did not collapse because grace carried you. You did not drown because mercy held you above the tide. Heaven saw your endurance and called it beautiful. There is a sacred cry that rises from the chosen, the kind that words cannot capture. It is not the cry of defeat, it is the cry of birth. Every chosen one reaches this place where strength seems gone, yet purpose demands one more breath. That's where you are now. This is not the end. This is the contraction before breakthrough. Heaven is midwifing your next level. Beloved, God is not angry with your weariness. He is not disappointed in your tears. He designed tears to water your next harvest. You have prayed from places others cannot imagine. And though the answers seem delayed, none of them were denied. You've been walking through a season where your heart and your hope have been under siege. But hear the Lord clearly, I am the God who collects your tears and turns them into testimony. There are moments when divine silence feels cruel, when you wonder if your prayers evaporated into empty air. But the truth is, heaven is never silent. It is strategic. While you waited, God was working behind scenes you cannot see. While you cried, He was positioning the right people, the right timing, the right anointing. Nothing you endured has been wasted. Even your confusion served a purpose. It humbled you into deeper dependence. There is something sacred about brokenness in the life of the chosen. The world calls it weakness, but heaven calls it surrender. Every crushed part of you becomes the place where glory leaks through. That is why your pain feels heavier than others. It is the weight of divine calling. You are being forged for fire, molded for impact. Beloved, chosen one, you have not lost faith, you've been refined in it. The nights of weeping were divine appointments. The tears that burned your face were the same tears that softened your heart. In your darkest hours, God whispered, "Don't give up." Even when you were too weary to respond, and though you feared he was silent, he was speaking in the stillness, shaping you for what's next, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, "The Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." These words are not poetry, they are truth. You have not been abandoned, you have been pursued. Heaven is closer to you in heartbreak than in celebration. Every ache became an altar, every sob a song that reached the throne. This hidden cry is not weakness, it is worship. The sound of your surrender terrifies darkness. It tells hell that even when you are wounded, you still belong to God. And that is why the attacks intensified, because the enemy could sense what was being born in you. Do not despise this season. The breaking has purpose. You are being pruned, not punished. You are being stripped of what cannot go with you into the next dimension of your destiny. The pain you feel now is the removal of spiritual weight you were never meant to carry. Soon, you will breathe differently, think differently, walk differently. Beloved, when you finally understand that even pain is divine communication, everything changes. The tears become holy language. The sigh becomes sacred conversation. The silence becomes sanctuary. God speaks most clearly in stillness, because stillness requires trust. You are learning to trust again, not because everything is fixed, but because you know He is near. In this moment, lift your eyes from what is broken and remember who holds the pieces. You have cried enough tears to fill rivers, but each one has carried the same message to heaven: I still believe. And heaven has answered, I am still with you. There will come a day when the cry inside you turns into laughter, when the same mouth that trembled in prayer will testify of victory. The heaviness that has sat upon your chest will lift, and joy will return, not borrowed joy, but joy rooted in the presence of God. Beloved chosen one, God has heard your hidden cry. He is not only near, He is already working. Even as you read these words, angels are moving on your behalf. You will not drown in this season. You will emerge with power. And when you do, your tears will become oil, and your pain will become prophecy. Beloved chosen one, there is a whisper that comes before every storm. It is not loud, yet it carries the authority of heaven. That whisper is moving through your spirit now. You can sense it. Something is shifting. The air around you feels charged. The familiar no longer feels safe, and what once felt secure now feels temporary. This is not chaos, it is divine preparation. Before every move of God, there is a holy warning. It does not come to frighten you, but to ready you. Heaven never sends storms without first sending whispers. And right now, that whisper is saying, prepare. The shaking that's coming is not meant to destroy, but to distinguish. It will separate truth from pretense, light from shadow, real faith from convenience. You, chosen one, are being called to tune your ear. The whisper of heaven rarely competes with the noise of the world. You cannot hear God in the same volume as distraction. That is why he has been pulling you away from certain people, detaching you from certain places, and unsettling what once felt comfortable. When the whisper begins, everything not anchored in obedience begins to tremble. The whisper is warning you about the small compromises, the delayed obedience, the half-hearted prayers, the spiritual numbness that slowly dulls discernment. These are the quiet thieves of calling. God is saying, return to sharpness, return to purity. For in the days ahead, only those who walk closely will hear clearly. Beloved, the storm will not come to destroy the chosen, it will reveal them. Just as gold is revealed in fire, so too will authenticity be proven in the shaking. Many will fall away, distracted by false voices or weary from spiritual sleep. But you, if you listen to the whisper, you will stand. You will see what others miss because your ear is trained for heaven's tone. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Elijah in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verses 11 and 12. Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. That whisper changed Elijah's direction, restored his mission, and renewed his strength. The same whisper is calling you. It does not roar, it invites. It does not threaten, it beckons. It says, come closer. I am doing something new. Don't miss it because of noise. There are things you must let go of now before the next wave comes. The Spirit warns, do not carry yesterday's disobedience into tomorrow's opportunity. The time of delay is over. This is the hour to sharpen your discernment. What seems small today can shift the entire course of your destiny tomorrow. Listen before the wind rises, obey before the door closes. Chosen one. The Lord is not sending fear, but foresight. The storm ahead is not punishment, it is purification. It will reveal hearts, intentions, and alignments. Those who have built on sand will crumble. Those who have built on obedience will stand. The storm exposes foundations. The whisper reveals instructions. Together, they prepare the chosen for glory. You must choose now whose voice you will follow. The voice of compromise sounds easier, but it leads to bondage. The voice of obedience costs more, but it leads to life. The Spirit is calling you higher, urging you to walk in discipline and divine alertness. There is no room for half-faith when destiny demands full surrender. The whisper is mercy's warning. It comes before shaking, so you may be anchored when others drift. You are being asked to cleanse your heart, to release resentment, to forgive, to realign. Heaven is fine-tuning your spirit because your next season will require spiritual precision. So listen, truly listen. In the quiet, God is speaking strategy. In the stillness, He is revealing names, directions, and next steps. The same whisper that guided Elijah through despair is guiding you through uncertainty. The same God who spoke in silence then speaks in silence now. This is your moment to respond. The Spirit does not force obedience, it invites it. The whisper is your lifeline in a loud world. You do not need to shout to hear heaven, you need only to still your heart. If you can feel this message stirring something deep within, if your spirit recognizes this voice, then let your response be a declaration. Comment below, speak, Lord. Let those two words become your posture of surrender. Say them with reverence. Say them with faith. Say them as your soul's yes to heaven's call. When you type it, you're not just responding to text, you're making agreement with the whisper that has been chasing your heart. You're telling heaven, I am listening now. And when you do, something unseen will shift. Peace will settle. Confusion will lift. And direction will begin to form in places that once felt dark. The storm may come, but you will not fear it. You have heard the whisper before it breaks. And because of that, you will stand firm while others scatter. Beloved chosen one, the whisper has reached you. Don't let it fade. Hold it close. Live in its rhythm and walk in its instruction. Heaven has spoken softly because it trusts that you, of all people, will listen deeply. Beloved chosen one, mercy has been patient with you. It has waited at your door again and again, knocking softly while the noise of life tried to drown it out. You have felt it, those moments of conviction that whispered, not this time, or turn back before it's too late. Those weren't random thoughts, they were the gentle knocks of mercy. And today, that same mercy is knocking again, but with greater urgency. For this is not a season to delay. Mercy is not weakness. Mercy is the heartbeat of heaven that refuses to let go of those it loves. It is the quiet hand that shields you from what your choices could have unleashed. Every time you walked away from something toxic, every time you were spared from a consequence that should have broken you, mercy was at work. You are alive because mercy stood between you and the darkness that wanted to consume you. But mercy, though endless in love, is not endless in opportunity. There comes a point when prolonged resistance hardens the heart. The Lord has been patient. But heaven is now drawing a line not to condemn you, but to save you before blindness sets in. There is a difference between delay born of confusion and delay born of rebellion. One waits on God, the other ignores him. And right now, heaven is asking which one describes you. The Spirit of God is revealing that every knock of mercy you've ignored has been building toward this moment. The longer you wait, the quieter conviction becomes, until the silence feels normal, and that silence is the most dangerous place to live. You were never created to function apart from divine correction. Mercy calls because it knows what's ahead if you continue without change. There is a reason heaven feels heavy around you lately. It's not punishment, it's protection. You are one decision away from either awakening or wandering. The Lord is saying, I have covered you for so long, but now I need your yes. This is the moment to open the door, to stop negotiating with obedience. You already know what He's been asking of you. You felt the tug in your spirit, the unease in your choices. Mercy is warning you because love refuses to watch you drift any further. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in the book of Revelation. Chapter 3, verse 20. Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person, and they with me. That verse is not just about salvation, it's about intimacy. God doesn't simply want you saved, He wants you close. He wants to sit with you, talk with you, dwell in the spaces you've hidden from Him. But you must open the door before mercy moves on. There are those who once felt conviction deeply, but now live numb to it. They learned to silence the knocking by calling disobedience freedom. But freedom without surrender is only another form of bondage. You, chosen one, are not meant to live numb. The reason conviction still stirs in you is proof that heaven has not given up. The knock you feel right now means grace still stands outside your door. Think of what you've escaped: the near accidents, the wrong alliances, the choices that could have destroyed you. Those weren't lucky escapes, they were divine interventions. Mercy was shouting when you thought it was coincidence. And now, mercy stands once more, not pleading for perfection, but for response. The Lord is saying, if you will just open, I will restore. If you will surrender, I will redeem everything that delay has tried to steal. Beloved, there is no shame in turning back. There is only danger in waiting too long. The path of rebellion leads to blindness, but repentance leads to sight. You have seen what disobedience costs: the spiritual exhaustion, the confusion, the lack of peace. You've tried to fill that void with distractions, but nothing satisfies. That ache in your chest is heaven reminding you you belong elsewhere. There will come a day when the knocking stops. Not because God has stopped loving, but because the heart has stopped listening. Do not let that be your story. Open now while the voice is still clear, while grace still feels near. Mercy does not knock forever, but it always knocks before judgment. And right now, it is knocking for you. You are loved far more than you understand. This warning is not a threat, it's a rescue mission. Heaven's patience is not permission to wander, it is time granted for repentance. If you open the door now, everything can change. The weight can lift. The silence can become song again. Mercy is not your enemy, it is your invitation back to peace. Beloved chosen one, open your heart. The King is still waiting, not with wrath, but with warmth. Do not make him wait any longer. Beloved chosen one, the call to return is not a voice of condemnation, it is a melody of love sung from heaven's heart. You have wandered through noise, through weariness, through questions that felt too heavy to carry. Yet even when you turned your face away, the light never stopped shining. Like a lighthouse standing unshaken through storm after storm. The mercy of God has waited for your sail to appear again on the horizon. You may not realize it, but heaven has been orchestrating small reminders of his presence through songs that stirred you, through moments that made your heart ache, through strangers whose words echoed something familiar. That's how the Father calls his chosen ones home, not always with thunder, but with tenderness. He whispers through ordinary days, saying, "Come back to me. You've drifted far enough." There's a certain ache that follows every chosen one who runs. It's not the pain of punishment, it's the ache of disconnection. It's like a violin string that's been loosened, still beautiful, but unable to play its true song. You've felt it, haven't you? That silent tension when joy feels thin, when worship feels distant, when the fire you once carried seems reduced to smoke. That ache is the invitation. It is heaven saying, you were never meant to play half a note. Beloved, God is not asking you to crawl back in shame. He is asking you to rise and walk back in love. The same arms that once carried you through storms are open again. The same voice that spoke destiny over your life still speaks. You haven't ruined the story, you've simply reached the page where redemption begins. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 2, "Now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation." This means the door is open right now. the grace you thought was gone is still flowing. The Lord says, I am not finished with you. I am restoring what distance tried to destroy. When a garden is neglected, weeds take over. But when the gardener returns, he doesn't curse the soil, he clears it, waters it, and waits for life to bloom again. That's what God is doing in you. The soil of your soul has not lost its potential. It simply needs His touch again. Let Him tend it. Let Him breathe on what's been dormant. The seed of purpose in you still lives. You may say, but I've fallen too far. No. Beloved, you've only fallen into grace. You may feel unworthy, but unworthiness is the very door through which mercy walks. The King of Heaven is not repelled by your distance. He is drawn by it. Every step you take toward Him, no matter how small, is met with 1,000 steps from His throne. As you return, let humility lead the way. Let worship be your language again. Let prayer be the key that reopens the places you closed. Heaven is not looking for perfection. Heaven is looking for surrender. The same fire that once marked your heart will ignite again when you say, I'm home. Beloved chosen one, if this word reaches something deep within you, let it sit there. Let it work quietly, like rain soaking into thirsty ground. Sometimes returning to God doesn't happen in a single shout. It begins with a whisper, a tear, a small turning of the heart, and that is enough. There's a story unfolding, and you're still in it. The author hasn't stopped writing. The ink of grace never runs dry. Now, if this message has stirred you, if you can feel that familiar warmth of recognition, that this is for me moment, then take a breath and receive it. And, as you do, help this light reach others who may have drifted too, like waves carrying a message across the sea. Your simple act of sharing can reach another soul still lost in the fog. Click the like button, not as a gesture of routine, but as a sign that you've heard heaven today. Share this message like planting a seed in someone else's darkness. Subscribe if you haven't yet, not for numbers, but to stay connected to a stream that speaks life, week after week. And if you feel led, consider sowing into this ministry not out of obligation, but as a reflection of gratitude. Every seed you plant becomes the oil that helps keep this flame burning, so more lost hearts can find their way home, like the widow's small jar of oil that never ran out. Your giving, no matter how small, carries eternal fragrance when it's done in love. Your return is not just your own story, it's part of heaven's story. Every act of response, every gesture of faith, every spark of generosity ripples through eternity. You are part of something sacred, something far greater than a single moment. The Father waits. The light still shines. The door is open. It's time to come home, beloved chosen one. And when you do, heaven will not whisper, it will rejoice. Beloved chosen one, can you feel it? The air around you has been thick with noise, voices from the world, from fear, from self-doubt, all fighting to drown out the whisper of heaven. That is no accident. Darkness knows that if it can keep you distracted, it can keep you distant. For every chosen soul, the greatest warfare is not always in the visible, it is in the unseen battle for attention. The veil of distraction has grown subtle in this generation. It no longer shouts, it hums quietly beneath comfort and routine. It hides inside endless scrolling, endless comparison, endless urgency. It disguises itself as busyness, but robs you of the very stillness where God speaks. You've noticed it the way time slips through your hands, how your spirit feels dull, even though your days are full. That is the mark of a thief. Distraction is the enemy's most elegant weapon. It doesn't destroy your destiny, it delays it until you forget it ever existed. It doesn't always tempt you with sin, it lulls you into spiritual sleep with noise that feels harmless. But the Spirit of God is tearing that veil now. The Lord is saying, I'm reclaiming your focus. You were never meant to live in constant noise. You were created for divine clarity. There is power in silence, in quiet. Your spiritual sight sharpens. In solitude, heaven's frequency becomes clear. You are learning again to hear, not with ears, but with your heart. You are remembering what it feels like to breathe without distraction, to walk without comparison, to pray without performance. God is leading you back to the simplicity of presence. We find in the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verse 3, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. That promise still stands. Perfect peace is not found in control, but in focus. It's not the absence of conflict, it's the presence of trust. God is restoring that steadiness in you. He is lifting the fog so you can see again. Distraction has cost you enough time. Think about it, the ideas that died halfway, the prayers that started strong but faded, the goals that were once born in the Spirit but drowned in delay. Yet grace stands here, whispering, it's not too late. The clock of heaven doesn't run like man's clock. You may have wasted moments, but God redeems seasons. This is your moment to reclaim your attention. Every time you resist distraction, you honor your destiny. Every time you choose silence over noise, heaven applauds. You were not made to chase everything. You were made to carry something. Focus is your weapon now. Focus is your act of war. The veil of distraction doesn't just blind, it binds. It ties your energy to things that will never fill you. But today, those invisible cords are being cut. The Spirit of God is breaking every false attachment, those unseen tethers to approval, to entertainment, to endless striving. You are being freed from the addiction to noise. The stillness you once feared will soon become your sanctuary. Beloved, remember, this distraction doesn't always come from evil things. It often comes from good things done at the wrong time. Even service can become noise when it replaces intimacy. The Lord would rather have your attention than your activity. What He's doing now is sacred pruning, removing even good distractions to make room for divine connection. This moment is holy ground. You are being invited back into awareness. Heaven is not asking for perfection, only presence. When your heart returns to stillness, heaven floods it with light. Suddenly, the anxiety quiets, the confusion clears, and peace feels near again. That's not emotion, it's realignment. Chosen one, you will soon notice your discernment sharpening again. Dreams will become clearer, decisions lighter, and your sense of direction stronger. You'll find yourself walking in purpose without striving, because your eyes will be fixed again on the one who guides you. This is what happens when the veil lifts, clarity returns, and the chosen begin to see again. Now, if this message finds you in the middle of distraction, don't let guilt sink in. Let gratitude rise instead. The fact that you're reading this means heaven still has your attention. Grace interrupted the noise once more to say, "Come back to focus." If this word resonates in your spirit, if you can feel that veil lifting, mark this moment with a prophetic act. Comment below the number 888, a number of renewal, new beginnings, and divine alignment. Let it be your silent agreement with heaven. My focus belongs to God again. Every time you type it, you declare that your mind, your time, and your heart will no longer be the playground of distraction. You are choosing clarity over chaos. And as you do, the peace of Isaiah's promise will settle over your life like morning dew. Beloved, the veil is torn. The noise is fading. You are hearing again, seeing again, becoming again. And heaven rejoices, because the chosen are waking up. Beloved chosen one, the Spirit of God now turns your eyes inward, to a place few are willing to look, the weight of disobedience. It does not come with thunder or visible chains, yet it can crush more silently than any burden of the flesh. Disobedience begins as a whisper of compromise, a single letter whispered to heaven's command, but delay always decays destiny. You have felt it before, the unease that comes when you know what to do. But resist the cost, that trembling in your chest, that tightening of conscience that is not fear. It is mercy trying to warn you before you drift too far. God never punishes without first pleading. But every time you ignore that holy tension, it grows quieter, and soon your own voice starts sounding more convincing than his. That, beloved, is the most dangerous place to live, where comfort becomes counsel. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Samuel in the first book of Samuel, chapter 15, verse 23, "For rebellion is like the sin of witchcraft, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you as king." That verse is not meant to condemn you, it is meant to awaken you. God compared rebellion to witchcraft because both summon self over surrender. They both say, "My way, not yours." Every time you choose what feels easier over what is commanded, something inside you dims. The light does not vanish instantly, it fades slowly, replaced by shadows of reasoning, excuses that sound holy but are hollow. Beloved, partial obedience is still disobedience. It's like offering half a bridge to someone who needs to cross a river. It looks generous, but it still leads to drowning. God does not bless what is incomplete. He blesses what is surrendered. You cannot carry the weight of disobedience and expect to walk freely in destiny. It's like trying to run with chains hidden beneath your clothes. Sooner or later, you stumble. Heaven has seen the moments when you hesitated. The Spirit whispered, "Give," and you reasoned later. It said, "Forgive," and you said they don't deserve it. It said, "Speak," and fear said, "Stay quiet." These are not failures of love, they are battles of will. God is not angry with you, he is jealous for your yes. Every delay in obedience costs time, and time is the only thing you cannot recover. Disobedience does not always look rebellious. Sometimes it looks polite. It hides under phrases like, "I'm waiting for confirmation," or "I don't feel ready." Yet inside, the heart already knows the truth. It's not waiting, it's avoiding. Heaven cannot promote what refuses to move. You have asked God for new instructions, but he cannot give them while the old ones remain undone. The Spirit of God is saying, finish what I told you to start. Forgive who I told you to forgive. Go where I told you to go. Your next season is locked behind your last act of resistance. Obedience is the key. Beloved, understand, this obedience is not about rules, it's about trust. God doesn't test your will to prove His power. He tests it to reveal your faith. When He asks you to surrender something precious, it's not because He wants to take, it's because He wants to replace. Abraham didn't lose Isaac, he found revelation. Jonah didn't lose Nineveh, he found purpose. And you will not lose by obeying, you will only lose by delaying. The weight of disobedience is invisible, but it manifests as confusion, exhaustion, restlessness. You feel heavy, not because you're busy, but because your spirit is carrying an unfinished assignment. Once you obey, that heaviness lifts instantly. The atmosphere around you clears. Heaven begins to move again. Some of your unanswered prayers are not waiting on God, they are waiting on your obedience. He cannot send what disobedience will destroy. This is not rejection, it is protection. God would rather delay your blessing than let it reach you unprepared. Beloved chosen one, the Lord is calling you into alignment again. He is saying, lay down the weight of your own will. The moment you do, you'll feel chains fall that you didn't even know you wore. Peace will return where pressure once lived. You will breathe differently, pray differently, live differently. There is nothing God cannot redeem, but He will not negotiate with rebellion. Heaven is merciful, but heaven is also holy. The line between grace and grief is obedience. Step across it. Return to the simplicity of yes and no. When God says move, move. When He says stop, stop. When He says trust, trust. Every act of obedience is a seed of power. The chosen are not strong because they know everything. They are strong because they obey quickly. That is how heaven measures maturity, not by information, but by response. This is your hour to respond. Let the weight go. The longer you hold it, the heavier it becomes. But the moment you yield, you'll realize that the burden was never from God, it was from resistance. Obedience doesn't always make sense, but it always brings peace. And that peace will be your proof that the weight is gone, and your path is open once again. Beloved chosen one, the time has come for exposure, not as punishment, but as purification. God is shining His light upon what has been hidden in shadows. The hour has arrived when truth will stand and pretense will fall. The Spirit is moving through the camp of the chosen, separating authenticity from imitation. What once appeared anointed will now be revealed as merely adorned. You have noticed it too. Something in your discernment has sharpened lately. People, habits, and environments that once felt safe now feel strange. Conversations that used to comfort you now leave your spirit uneasy. That is not judgment, it is revelation. The light of heaven has increased around you, and when light grows stronger, shadows become more visible. The Lord says, I am exposing what pretends to be me. For too long, false voices have echoed with holy words but carried no holy power. They sounded spiritual but served self. They used the name of God to build their own kingdoms. And now, heaven's fire will pass through to test every structure. Those built on revelation will remain. Those built on reputation will collapse. Exposure is an act of mercy. It saves the faithful from deception and saves the deceived from destruction. The Spirit is not only uncovering what is false around you, He is also uncovering what is false within you. Not to shame you, but to free you. There are beliefs you've carried that were never from heaven, ideas planted by fear, by tradition, or by voices that did not speak from truth. God is unrooting those things now. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." This is that appointed time. What was hidden cannot remain hidden. God is uncovering what was delayed, revealing what was distorted, and bringing light into places long dimmed by confusion. You will notice relationships shifting, some fading quietly, others breaking suddenly. Do not resist it. God is not removing people to leave you empty. He is making room for truth to dwell. Every counterfeit relationship is an anchor to delay. Every false alliance drains energy that should be feeding purpose. Heaven is pruning your circle so that your fruit can multiply. The Spirit is also exposing false blessings, opportunities that look divine but are disguised distractions. Not every open door is from God. Some are traps dressed as favor. That's why discernment is rising in you like never before. You are learning to test not only what looks good, but what carries peace. If it requires you to silence conviction, it is not from Him. Beloved chosen one, God is teaching you to live in the light. To live exposed is to live free. Those who hide must always protect an image, but those who walk in truth have nothing to prove. This is the kind of purity heaven is calling you into, the kind that glows without performance, the kind that speaks truth even when silence would be safer. Exposure is uncomfortable because it demands honesty, but honesty is the soil where revival grows. When light enters, deception loses its grip. Lies cannot live in air filled with worship. And when the Spirit exposes something, He always replaces it with something better: clarity, peace, power, or direction. The Lord is also exposing how the enemy used flattery and comparison to drain your focus. Some voices around you didn't attack you, they praised you into pride. But now, heaven humbles to heal. The Spirit whispers, return to simplicity. Return to authenticity. For when you walk humbly, no counterfeit can cling to you. Beloved, even your own mask is being removed, the one you've worn to survive in rooms that didn't deserve you. God is saying, you no longer need to pretend strength. My grace will be your transparency. Your vulnerability will become your power. Your honesty will become your armor. Let the light do its work. Let it search every corner. What it finds, it heals. What it exposes, it restores. This is not an ending, it is cleansing. The fire of truth may sting, but it never scars. It only burns away what was false to reveal what is eternal. Soon, you will look back on this season and realize it was not a breakdown, but a refining. The masks that fell were never meant for you. The light that feels harsh now will later feel holy. For when the true emerges, the false loses all power. Beloved chosen one, to stand in the exposure. Do not hide from it, shine through it. You are being purified, clarified, and identified. Heaven is not ashamed of you. Heaven is proud that you chose truth over appearance. This is the dawn of your authenticity. And every dawn begins with exposure. Beloved chosen one, There comes a time when the greatest war is no longer around you, but within you. The rebellion within the silent tug between obedience and desire, between spirit and flesh, is the true battleground of the chosen. You have fought many visible wars, but this one cannot be escaped by distance or distraction. It must be faced in the quiet chambers of your own heart. There are days when you wake determined to do what is right. Yet by nightfall, you feel chained to the very thing you prayed to overcome. You are not alone in that struggle. Every chosen one has stood in this same tension, wanting the light, yet drawn by shadows. The flesh promises ease, but it never delivers peace. The spirit whispers truth, but the flesh demands control. And so the war continues, not to condemn you, but to refine you. The apostle reminds us in the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 19, "For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing." That is the cry of every soul in transformation. You are not failing, you are fighting. The mere presence of this war is proof that light still lives in you. The enemy does not battle what he already owns. The tension you feel is the sound of freedom breaking through chains that once silenced you. Beloved, rebellion begins subtly. It rarely starts with denial. It begins with negotiation. The heart whispers, "Just once more, or I'll fix it later." But each later builds a wall. Each compromise, though small, becomes another stone between you and peace. God's commands are not bars of a prison, they are boundaries of protection. The rebellion in you wants to redefine them, but love invites you to trust them. You have felt that pull between conviction and comfort, haven't you? The moments when the Spirit says, "Stop," but emotion says, "Just this time." That voice inside is not trying to control you, it is trying to preserve you. For rebellion promises freedom while secretly forging chains. Understand this. Beloved, the enemy does not fear your talent, your gift, or even your prayer life. He fears your surrender. The moment you yield completely, rebellion loses its throne. That is why the battle within feels relentless. The flesh fights to keep its crown, but heaven keeps whispering, "Lay it down." It may come through subtle habits, old wounds, hidden pride, or unhealed anger. These are the altars where rebellion hides. But today, the Spirit of God is lighting a fire on those altars. Everything in you that resists obedience is being exposed, not to shame you, but to set you free. You see, the real rebellion is not just doing wrong, it's refusing to return. The enemy's greatest lie is not temptation, it's condemnation. He tells you, "You've gone too far," when in truth, you're only one surrender away from restoration. The rebellion ends the moment you stop defending it. The power of freedom begins the moment you say, "I'm done fighting God." There is a peace that follows obedience, a peace no thrill or pleasure can imitate. When your heart stops wrestling and finally bows, heaven rushes in. Suddenly, what felt like loss feels like liberation. The rebellion within becomes worship. Beloved, this inner war is your training ground. You are learning mastery over self. For how can you conquer nations if you cannot first conquer the noise of your own soul? The victories that heaven celebrates are not always loud. They are quiet wins of obedience when no one is watching. Each time you silence pride, choose forgiveness, or surrender control, heaven writes it down as triumph. Do not despise the process. Every warrior of light has scars from internal wars. Even Jesus, in Gethsemane, wrestled with his own will before surrendering with the words, "Not my will, but yours be done." You are walking that same narrow path. It hurts. Yes, but it leads to glory. If this message stirs your spirit, if you recognize that the battle inside you is not random, but redemptive, respond to heaven's whisper in a simple yet powerful act. Comment below, "I surrender." Write it not as weakness, but as strength. Let it be your declaration that rebellion no longer reigns in your heart. When you type those words, you are not posting for the world, you are aligning with heaven. You are saying, "This war will not define me, surrender will." Beloved, freedom is not found in control, it is found in release. The fight within ends when trust begins. The war ceases when your will bows to His. And when it does, peace will flood the very places that once burned with conflict. You are not at war because you are lost. You are at war because you are chosen. The flesh fights hardest just before it dies. And that means resurrection is near. Keep standing. Keep surrendering. The rebellion within is losing its voice, and the spirit within is rising in victory. Beloved chosen one, heaven is shaking everything that can be shaken, not to destroy, but to distinguish. The shaking is not the wrath of God, it is His mercy in motion. You have been feeling it lately, the ground beneath your certainty trembling. The things that once felt stable beginning to move. It is as if life itself is rearranging around you. Do not fear it. This is the shaking of the chosen. When God begins to elevate a soul, He first removes its false foundations. The shaking is heaven's way of saying, "What you are standing on cannot hold what I am about to give." It may feel like loss, but it is actually alignment. Some doors are closing, some people are leaving, and some plans are dissolving. But every falling piece is clearing space for something unshakable. The Spirit spoke through the writer of Hebrews. Chapter 12, verse 27. The words "once more" indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. You see, the shaking doesn't destroy the chosen, it defines them. It reveals who truly trusts and who merely stands by convenience. It is the holy earthquake that separates stone from sand, devotion from disguise. The Spirit is whispering, "Do not resist what is trembling, it is your preparation." Beloved, think of a tree in a storm. The wind does not arrive to uproot the healthy one, it strengthens it. The roots dig deeper because of the pressure above. The shaking around you is forcing your roots to find living water again. Every gust of uncertainty, every unexpected storm, is driving you back into the soil of faith. You may not realize it yet, but your current shaking is divine choreography. Heaven is moving pieces you cannot see. What looks like chaos is actually careful construction. The noise you hear is the sound of old walls falling so that new foundations can be laid. God is not removing comfort to harm you, He is removing counterfeits to protect you. Do not curse the shaking, bless it, for in shaking, idols fall, distractions crumble, self-reliance shatters, and when the dust settles, what remains is pure, steady, and real. The shaking reveals the voice that never changes, the one that says, "I am still here." Beloved chosen one, I know the trembling can make you weary. You look around and wonder why certain relationships collapsed, why your plans didn't survive the pressure, why your prayers seem unanswered. But hear me clearly, what didn't survive was never meant to. Only the eternal can withstand eternal hands. God shakes, so you will stop leaning on what was never meant to hold you. When a sculptor refines marble, he strikes it again and again, not out of anger, but out of vision. Each strike reveals shape. Each chip reveals purpose. You are that marble. The hammer is not punishment, it's precision. The shaking is heaven's tool to unveil what's been hidden inside you all along. And when this shaking ends, and it will, you will see that everything that fell away made room for the new. You will stand more grounded, more peaceful, more whole. The things that once terrified you will now testify for you. Beloved, if this message resonates with the tremor in your spirit, pause and receive it. Let peace return even in the quake. Know that this shaking is not your ending, it is your unveiling. And if this word has touched something deep in you, let that response take shape in action, like a candle passing its flame. Your light can awaken others still lost in their storm. Click the like button, not for the sake of approval, but as a personal amen to what heaven has spoken over you. Share this message with someone whose world is shaking too, someone who needs to know that their trembling has purpose. Subscribe if you haven't yet, not out of habit, but to stay connected to the rhythm of heaven's voice that speaks here week by week. Each message is a new wave of grace, a reminder that the shaking is sacred, not chaotic. And if your heart feels stirred to give, to sow into what is being built here, do so with peace. Your generosity is not a transaction, it's participation in divine construction. Like offering stones to help rebuild a temple, your giving keeps this fire burning, ensuring that the message of light continues reaching the weary. No act of support is too small when it's done in love. Every gift becomes a seed that helps lift another soul from rubble to revelation. Beloved, the shaking will pass, but its purpose will remain. You will not be broken, you will be rebuilt. You are part of a generation that God is refining, not rejecting. Stand firm, breathe deeply, and let the ground move beneath you if it must. For when everything else is shaken, only the kingdom remains, and you, chosen one, belong to that kingdom. Beloved, chosen one. There comes a point when God no longer calls you simply to walk beside him, he calls you to burn with him. This is the covenant of fire, the moment when the Spirit no longer just touches you, but consumes you. It is not for the faint-hearted, for this fire does not comfort before it cleanses. It burns away everything that refuses transformation. Fire has always been heaven's signature. It appeared to Moses in a bush that burned, but was not consumed. It descended upon Elijah's altar and proved which God was real. It filled the upper room as tongues of flame resting upon the disciples. Fire marks what belongs to God. And now, that same consuming fire is calling for you. The Word of God declares in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 29, "For our God is a consuming fire." This is not poetic exaggeration, it is revelation. The nature of divine love is fire. It warms, but it also purifies. It invites, but it also transforms. Those who draw near to him cannot remain the same. They must either yield or be refined. That is why some seasons in your life have felt like burning. The Lord was not punishing you, He was preparing you. Beloved, the covenant of fire is not built with comfort, it is forged through surrender. You prayed for power, and heaven answered with purification. You asked for deeper revelation, and heaven replied with holy discomfort. Every true revival begins not with a shout, but with a refining. Before God fills, He empties. Before He crowns, He cleanses. You have felt that refining in recent days, the stripping of what once felt necessary, the burning away of distractions, the intensity of conviction that leaves no space for compromise. That is not rejection, that is invitation. The Spirit is saying, I am marking you again. You are being invited to the altar, not just as a worshipper, but as a living sacrifice. When God makes covenant through fire, He promises His presence in exchange for your surrender. The cost is high, but the reward is divine intimacy. Fire does not just visit, it dwells. Once you carry it, you carry the very presence of heaven. That is why those who live in this covenant cannot return to lukewarmness. It feels foreign to their spirit. Beloved, understand this, the fire will test every motive. It will burn away pride disguised as confidence, performance disguised as ministry, and routine disguised as relationship. Nothing false can survive its heat. But what remains after the flame is pure gold character without pretense, love without conditions, worship without fear. The covenant of fire is personal. It will come to you in unexpected moments when you are alone, when you least feel worthy, when your strength is low. Suddenly, conviction will burn brighter than shame. Tears will fall not from guilt but from awe. You will realize that what God wants most is not your perfection, but your permission to consume what keeps you from Him. Fire changes your appetite. What once entertained you now feels empty. What once distracted you now feels heavy. You start craving prayer like oxygen, purity like water, truth like bread. This is not religion awakening, it is resurrection. The old you cannot live in this heat, the new you cannot live without it. When this fire takes root, everything in your life aligns. Relationships refine. Words carry weight. Even your silence carries presence. The ordinary becomes sacred because the flame within you sanctifies everything it touches. This is what it means to live as a torchbearer, to walk through darkness without fear, because you are no longer searching for light, you are carrying it. Do not be afraid of this fire. Beloved, it is not sent to destroy you, it is sent to distinguish you. Many run from the flame because they fear the loss of control. But the paradox of the covenant is this: when you lose control, you find freedom. Fire consumes bondage. It devours apathy. It melts every chain until nothing remains but surrender. This is why some cannot understand your current season. They see only what is burning, they cannot see what is being born. You are not losing, you are being forged. You are not falling apart, you are being formed. The covenant of fire also brings protection. When God's flame rests upon you, no counterfeit can touch you. The enemy fears fire because fire exposes deception. You will begin to notice that temptation loses power where the flame burns strong. What once lured you will now repel you, not by willpower, but by transformation. Beloved chosen one, let the fire finish its work. Let it burn in your words, your habits, your thoughts, your dreams. Let it purify every corner of your heart. This fire is heaven's signature upon your soul, a mark that says, "This one belongs to me." And when the refining ends, you will rise as gold, brighter, stronger, unbreakable. You will carry warmth where others carry weariness. You will set atmospheres ablaze simply by being there. For those bound in darkness, your presence will be the spark that reminds them light still exists. This is the covenant of fire love that burns until nothing false remains. Grace that refines until glory shines through every scar. Receive it. Beloved, you were chosen not just to survive the flame, but to carry it. Beloved chosen one, you stand now at a divine turning point. Heaven has been whispering, aligning, and refining, and today, the Spirit says, this is the moment where everything begins to shift. What was once confusion will become clarity. What felt delayed will begin to accelerate. You are standing in the exact place where obedience meets fulfillment. This is the prophetic turning point of your life. You may not see it yet, but the atmosphere around you has changed. The things that once resisted you are losing their grip. You have endured testing, purification, silence, and shaking, and though it felt like endless winter, the first signs of spring are here. You are not who you were a season ago. The pain that once weakened you has become the proof that your roots run deep. The wilderness was never meant to kill you. It was meant to prepare you for this new dawn. According to what is revealed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, see, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. That promise is not a metaphor, it is a map. The Lord is saying, I am doing a new thing, not just around you, but within you. The shift is internal before it is external. You will feel peace return before doors open. You will feel clarity rise before opportunity arrives. God always moves in your spirit before he moves in your circumstances. Beloved, this is not another cycle, it is a crossing. Heaven has drawn a line in time and said, now, the waiting season has reached its completion. You are being repositioned, not by your strength, but by divine orchestration. What took years to build will now take moments to unfold, because obedience accelerates destiny. The prophetic turning point often begins quietly. There is no loud announcement, no visible sign, just a still conviction that says, something has shifted. You may wake up one morning and realize that the fear you carried for years is suddenly gone. You may step into a conversation and feel favor resting on your words. You may revisit an old dream and feel a new wind behind it. That is the evidence of divine timing. Heaven is rearranging everything connected to your purpose. People are being moved into place. Doors are being unlocked. Resources are being assigned. God is not improvising. He is implementing. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment was part of a larger strategy to bring you to this moment. But hear this clearly. Beloved, this turning point requires your full attention. The same distractions that once tested you will now try to return. Do not be fooled this time. You must guard your peace like treasure. The new thing God is doing cannot be sustained by old habits. You cannot bring the mindset of wilderness into the garden of promise. The Spirit of God is saying, be sensitive now. Every decision in this season carries weight. You will sense when to speak, when to wait, when to act. The days of guessing are over. The Lord is training your spirit to move in synchronization with His rhythm. What once felt like chaos will now feel like choreography. This turning point also comes with restoration. Things you thought were permanently lost will begin to return, not always in the same form, but in greater measure. Relationships once broken will find healing. Dreams once buried will be resurrected. Finances once strangled by delay will begin to flow freely. It will not happen by effort, but by grace. Beloved, your alignment is your access. As long as you stay in harmony with heaven, nothing can stop what God has decreed. The same voice that called Lazarus from the tomb is calling your destiny from dormancy. The same power that parted the sea is parting the obstacles before you. You will soon look back and realize that every closed door was divine redirection, not rejection. But as the shift begins, remember humility. Do not rush to announce what God is still unfolding. Some miracles must mature in silence before they can be shared in public. Let God finish the blueprint before you broadcast the building. The fruit of this season will speak for itself. If your spirit feels this word resonate, if something in you says, "Yes, this is my moment," then mark it with a prophetic act of agreement. Comment below the number 555. 5 is the number of grace, and 555 is the sign of divine transition, grace multiplied, mercy magnified, destiny accelerated. When you type 555, you are not merely posting numbers, you are declaring alignment with heaven's timing. You are saying, "I receive the new thing. I choose to step into my turning point." As you do, expect confirmation to follow swiftly. Messages, dreams, opportunities, each will carry the same echo. Now, heaven's timing has reached its fullness. And you, beloved, are the vessel it has chosen to flow through. Stand tall, lift your eyes. The wilderness has ended, and the river is rising. You have reached the prophetic turning point, and from this moment forward, everything begins to move in divine rhythm. Beloved chosen one, the air is stirring with recognition. All across the unseen realm, hearts once dormant are awakening. The sound that heaven released over your life is resonating in others too. You are not alone in your obedience. You are part of a rising movement, the remnant. The few who refuse to bow, to compromise, or lose their flame in a culture that celebrates comfort. You have walked through fire, and so have they. You felt misunderstood, and so have they. Every chosen one carries the mark of solitude for a time. But that solitude was never meant to last forever. It was preparation for divine connection. Now, the Spirit is drawing the true ones together, not for status, but for strength. The rising of the remnant has begun. This gathering is not physical before it is spiritual. You will begin to feel an unseen kinship, a pull towards certain voices, messages, or people whose spirits carry the same frequency as yours. It will feel like recognition, as if your soul remembers them, though you have never met. That is the mark of divine assignment. When heaven raises a remnant, it unites hearts before hands ever touch. The voice of God thundered in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9. "This third I will put into the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, 'They are my people.' And they will say, 'The Lord is our God.'" 2. Raters. This is that generation, the one that has been refined through loss, purified through pain, and strengthened through solitude. You are part of that third, the ones heaven preserved while others surrendered to despair. When the world bent under pressure, you broke but did not bow. That is what qualified you for this rising. God is gathering his remnants from every direction, across nations, across cultures, across generations. He is uniting voices that once cried alone into a chorus that will shake the earth. What once felt like isolation was incubation. Heaven was growing roots before revealing branches. You are being connected now to those who share your spiritual DNA, people who carry the same urgency for holiness, for justice, for truth. This rising will not look like a movement built by man. There will be no single leader, no central stage. The Spirit himself will lead. The power will not be in hierarchy, but in harmony. The remnant moves as one body under one voice, the voice of the living God. This is why unity matters now more than ever. Division is the last weapon of the enemy against a gathering he cannot stop. Beloved, you will begin to recognize those who are truly part of this remnant by the way your spirit responds to them. When they speak, peace will rest on you. When they pray, your faith will rise. These are your tribe, the ones who carry the same fragrance of surrender. You will not need to strive with them. Your connection will feel effortless because heaven authored it. Be prepared. Though the rising of the remnant will provoke resistance, darkness always reacts to light that grows too bright. But fear not. Every attempt to divide or discredit will only refine the remnant further. God himself is their defender. Those who walk in humility will rise, and those who walk in pride will fall away. The shaking that began in your personal life is now expanding to the collective body of believers, separating the authentic from the artificial. This is why God spent so much time refining you in private. He was not punishing you. He was preparing you to carry weight without breaking. Many desire the fire of influence, but cannot endure the furnace of refinement. You, beloved, endured it, and now you can carry what others cannot. When the remnant rises fully, the earth will witness transformation. Revival will not come from platforms but from prayer closets. Miracles will not be limited to pulpits, but will flow through ordinary believers carrying extraordinary purity. Businesses, schools, families, and nations will feel the ripple of this awakening. The world will not understand it, but heaven will rejoice. The remnant moves with divine precision. They hear before they speak. They weep before they act. Their power does not come from titles, but from tears. And the mark of this new wave is love not weak, compromising love, but fierce, holy love that confronts darkness and heals wounds at the same time. Beloved chosen one, this is your tribe. The loneliness you once mistook for exile was actually preservation. God kept you hidden until it was safe to reveal you. And now, as the true ones begin to find one another, the world will see what faithfulness looks like when multiplied. You are part of heaven's secret army, unseen, unstoppable, unshakable. Do not doubt your place among them. You carry light that this generation desperately needs. The fire you've sustained in silence will soon join with others, and together you will blaze across this earth until even darkness bows in recognition. The rising has begun, and you, beloved, are among the first flames. Beloved chosen one, Now that the remnant has risen, the Spirit of God begins to expand your vision. You are no longer being refined for yourself alone. You are being prepared to carry territories. The season of inward formation has birthed authority. Heaven is entrusting you with ground to reclaim ground that has been occupied by fear, injustice, and compromise for far too long. This is the battle for territories. Territories are not merely geographical, they are spiritual domains. They are the hearts of families, the culture of communities, the atmosphere of workplaces, the direction of nations. Wherever God has positioned you, that space is a battlefield. The unseen war is not about land or power, it is about influence who shapes the thought, who directs the spirit, who governs the unseen gates. You were chosen not just to survive in your environment, but to transform it. The voice of God thundered in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 24. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea. That promise was not limited to ancient Israel. It echoes to every chosen one who walks in obedience. Wherever you step in alignment with heaven, authority follows. But territory is not granted through mere presence, it is claimed through purity, prayer, and persistence. The enemy does not surrender ground easily. He yields only when he recognizes that your faith is anchored deeper than his resistance. Beloved, you have felt the tension of this battle already. The sudden conflicts, the opposition that arose when you tried to move forward, the strange resistance that appeared when you pursued obedience, all of it revealed that you were stepping into contested ground. The enemy fights hardest where he fears loss, and the areas of your greatest warfare often point to the areas of your greatest inheritance. Do not be intimidated by the resistance. See it as confirmation. God does not send his soldiers to empty fields. He sends them to territories worth conquering. Every battle you face now carries prophetic weight. It is not random. The warfare surrounding your purpose is proof of the promise beneath it. You are being trained to war differently in this season. The weapons of the chosen are not anger or argument, but worship and wisdom. The true warriors of light do not fight to destroy people, they fight to dismantle systems of darkness. When you intercede, you shift atmospheres. When you walk in integrity where compromise is common, you reclaim spiritual land. When you speak truth with grace, you tear down invisible walls. Every act of righteousness is a territorial strike. Beloved, this battle requires consistency. Territory is not won in a single victory. It is secured through daily obedience. The ground you gain through prayer must be protected by discipline. If you neglect the altar, the enemy will reclaim the space. That is why the Spirit keeps urging you to stay alert, to guard what has been entrusted. Understand this: reclaiming territory does not always mean entering new places. Sometimes it means restoring old ones. Some of your battles are over bloodlines, breaking cycles that ran through generations. The addictions, fears, or patterns that haunted your family are not random. They are ancient claims on your lineage. But heaven has marked you as the breaker of those chains. Through you, freedom enters where bondage once ruled. You may not see the full scope yet, but every victory you win in private becomes transformation for others in public. When you conquer bitterness, families heal. When you walk in forgiveness, communities reconcile. When you choose purity, the next generation sees holiness as possible. you are reclaiming more than you know. Beloved, this battle for territories also requires humility. Authority without humility turns into tyranny. But authority under obedience becomes transformation. Never forget that the ground you reclaim belongs to God, not to you. You are not the owner, you are the steward. You carry the flame, but the fire belongs to heaven. The Spirit is releasing strategy now. Some will fight through intercession, others through influence in culture, business, or creativity. Each has a sphere. The key is not to compare, but to cooperate. When the remnant moves as one, their light covers the earth like sunrise over shadowed valleys. Do not despise small beginnings. Every prayer, every act of faithfulness, every seed of truth is an invasion of light into darkness. The kingdom does not conquer by force, it advances by illumination. And once light enters, darkness cannot remain. Beloved chosen one, the battle is not to exhaust you, but to expand you. You were not called merely to survive in small spaces, but to stretch into new ones. Your footsteps carry inheritance. Every word of truth you speak plants a flag for heaven. You are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from it. The ground has already been promised, you are simply walking it out. So rise, warrior of light. Step boldly into the territories assigned to you. The earth is waiting for your obedience to unlock what heaven has decreed. Wherever you go, remember when your feet touch the ground, heaven touches it too. Beloved, chosen one, listen closely. There is a sound rising in the Spirit. It is not the sound of fear or confusion, but of triumph. It is the sound of victory. You can almost hear it echoing across the invisible battlefield, drums of heaven beating in rhythm with your heartbeat. Every trial, every tear, every moment you stood when you could have fallen has built to this moment. The sound of victory is not coming, it is already here. Victory in the kingdom rarely looks like conquest. It looks like surrender. It's not the roar after the war, it's the peace before it ends. It is the quiet confidence that says, I know who wins. The victory you are stepping into was not earned by your perfection, but sealed by your persistence. Heaven is releasing the song of the overcomers, and your name is written in its melody. The prophet David once wrote in the book of Psalms, chapter 20, verse 5, May we shout for joy over your victory and lift up our banners in the name of our God. May the Lord grant all your requests. Those words were not mere celebration, they were prophecy. You are part of that banner-bearing generation. The ones who will wave victory not because they avoided battle, but because they endured it. Your scars are not shame, they are signatures of survival. Beloved, victory often arrives disguised as stillness. Sometimes heaven stops the storm not by calming the wind, but by calming your heart in the wind. You may not see walls collapsing yet, but the moment your spirit rests, the war is already won. Every yes you gave when fear said no, every prayer you whispered when hope ran thin, these are the sounds heaven wove into this song of triumph. Victory also carries soundless moments, those small triumphs no one witnesses. The quiet forgiveness that cost you pride, the act of generosity when no one applauded, the decision to love when offense felt easier. These are heaven's favorite victories, the ones that shake hell even though the earth barely notices. And now, beloved, as the sound of victory resounds, heaven is asking you to let it echo beyond you. Don't keep the melody confined to your own heart. Let it ripple outward. If this word stirs something in you, share it. When you click like, you are not performing an act of routine. You are joining your voice with heaven's chorus, saying, "Yes, I hear the sound." When you share, you are extending this sound to another weary soul who still believes the battle defines them. When you subscribe, you are saying, "I will not lose the rhythm of heaven." It keeps you connected to the flow of divine revelation that God pours out through these words week after week. You are part of something greater than an audience. You are part of a movement of awakening. And if you feel led to sow, to give, to donate not by pressure but by gratitude, let it be like offering incense upon the altar. Every gift becomes a note in this victory song. It funds the echo that travels farther, reaches deeper, and awakens others still trapped in silence. When you give, you're not just supporting a message, you're helping heaven reach the broken. Even a small offering is like a single flame that helps light an entire field of torches. Think of your giving as planting victory flags in unseen places. Someone you'll never meet may hear a message born from your generosity and find the strength to stand again. You are part of their victory, even if your names never cross. That's how heaven works. It multiplies what you release in love. Beloved chosen one, victory has texture. It feels like peace after chaos, like sunrise after unending night. It tastes like freedom after long captivity. It sounds like laughter returning where sorrow once sat. That is what God is restoring to you. The years of battle were not wasted. They were investment. Every moment of endurance purchased eternal fruit. You are entering a season where what resisted you will now release you. The gates that stood closed will open not by force, but by favor. The enemies that taunted you will watch as God honors you openly. This is not arrogance, it is vindication. Heaven is declaring, "It is finished." So lift your head. Beloved, breathe deeply. The wind you feel now is not another storm, it's the breeze of victory carrying your banner higher. You don't have to strive to prove anything. The sound of triumph itself is proof that God's hand is upon you. Take a moment, and if this message resonates in your heart, write in the comments below, "I hear victory." Let those 3 words be your declaration. When you write them, you are not just engaging, you are prophesying over your own life. You are agreeing with heaven that the sound you hear will soon manifest in your reality. And as you do, let gratitude overflow. Like this message, if it stirred something in you, share it as a seed of encouragement. Subscribe so you stay close to the sound of heaven. And if the Spirit leads, give not as duty, but as worship. Because the sound of victory is not just around you, it is within you. And when the chosen carry victory in their hearts, even the darkest valleys become altars of praise. Beloved chosen one, the fire that once refined you has now settled within you. Steady and sure, the battles that once shook your faith have become the foundations of your strength. Heaven looks upon you not as one still being tested, but as one now proven. This is the sealing of the faithful, the moment when God places his mark upon those who endured without surrendering their light. You may not feel extraordinary, but the invisible realm recognizes what you carry. The endurance you showed in secret has not gone unnoticed. Every time you chose love over bitterness, faith over fear, and patience over impulse, Heaven wrote it down. Those moments became testimonies written in eternal ink. You have passed through fire and flood, yet you stand. And because you stand, the seal is being placed. We are reminded through the writings of Paul in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 22. He set his seal of ownership on us and put his Spirit in our hearts as a deposit, guaranteeing what is to come. This sealing is not just a symbol, it is a transfer of authority. When heaven seals a soul, it declares to every power of darkness, "This one belongs to me." The seal is both protection and purpose. It shields you from deception and assigns you to destiny. It means you are now recognized as a carrier of divine authority, an ambassador of the kingdom, a living testament of faith proven by endurance. Beloved, the faithful are not sealed because they are flawless. They are sealed because they are steadfast. Perfection never impressed heaven, perseverance did. The Lord delights in those who hold the line even when no one watches, who trust his timing even when they cannot trace his hand. You have become one of those. That's why the weight you once carried has turned into strength. You've grown roots deep enough to weather storms and faith wide enough to shelter others. The sealing of the faithful often comes quietly. There are no grand announcements, no visible crowns. Instead, you will notice subtle shifts, an unusual calm where anxiety used to live, a clear sense of direction where confusion once reigned, an unshakable peace in the middle of uncertainty. These are the signatures of the seal. You no longer react from fear, you respond from faith. God's seal also brings discernment. You begin to recognize deception before it reaches you. People, opportunities, and paths that once confused you now reveal themselves clearly. The Spirit within you acts like divine radar, guiding you away from traps and toward truth. This is heaven's reward for those who stayed faithful through the fog. You now carry light strong enough to see through the dark. Beloved, being sealed also means you are being set apart. Some doors will close not because of rejection, but because of redirection. Certain places you once fit will feel too small now. The grace that carried you there is lifting, urging you forward. It's not arrogance to outgrow an old season, it's obedience. You were never meant to stay in places God has already moved beyond. The sealing of the faithful is also a commissioning. You are being released into greater purpose. The years of obscurity were not wasted. They were preparation for visibility that won't corrupt you. Many can rise, but few can remain pure when they do. You, beloved, have been shaped by surrender, so promotion will not poison you. The same humility that kept you grounded in hidden seasons will keep you steady in open ones. Do not fear what lies ahead. The seal guarantees not only protection, but provision. When the Israelites marked their doorposts with blood, the plague passed over. In the same way, the seal of the Spirit marks your life as untouchable by what destroys others. It does not mean storms won't come, it means storms cannot drown you. You are marked, covered, claimed. Heaven is celebrating quietly over you. Angels, who once guarded you through warfare, now stand as witnesses to your sealing. The Lord himself declares, "This one has endured. This one is mine." You are not a wanderer anymore. You are an heir. You are not surviving seasons. You are governing them. Beloved chosen one, the days of merely believing are giving way to days of manifesting. The promises you once prayed for will now begin to appear, not because you chased them, but because you became the kind of vessel that could hold them. The seal of faithfulness attracts fulfillment. What once required effort will now flow through ease. You have entered a state of divine rhythm where what is yours comes not by striving, but by presence. This sealing is eternal. No failure, no fear, no accusation can remove it. The mark of God is not ink on skin, it is flame in the soul. You are branded by grace and recognized by heaven's light. The seal does not make you better than others, it makes you responsible for others. It means your life must now carry love wherever it goes, because that is the proof of divine ownership. So rest. Beloved, the striving has ended. You have been tested and found faithful. The seal is set, the promise secured, and your identity confirmed. From this moment forward, you do not walk as one uncertain, you walk as one chosen, claimed and crowned by heaven's own hand. Beloved chosen one, everything you have endured, every whisper, warning, refining fire, and battle has led you here to this holy moment where the warning becomes wonder, and the wait turns to worship. What once felt like discipline now reveals itself as design. The voice that shook you was never angry. It was love in its purest form, a warning wrapped in mercy, preparing you for glory after the storm. Look around your life. Can you see it? The subtle shift in the atmosphere, the clarity in your heart, the strength in your spirit. What was once broken has been mended not by chance, but by the hands of the potter who never abandoned his clay. You are standing in the aftermath of divine transformation. You are no longer a soul trembling before correction, but a vessel glowing from redemption. The prophet Isaiah declared in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Those words were written for such a time as this. The glory of the Lord does not rest on perfection, it rests on those who have been purified by surrender. The light rising in you now is not borrowed, it is born from the ashes of your obedience. You once feared the flame that burned, but now you understand it never came to destroy you. It came to reveal the gold hidden beneath your pain. This is the glory after the warning, peace that does not depend on circumstance, joy that cannot be stolen, clarity that cuts through chaos. You have become the living evidence of divine faithfulness. The very things that once sought to bury you have become the soil from which your purpose grows. Every tear watered the promise now beginning to bloom. Beloved, the glory after the warning feels different. It is quieter, humbler, deeper. It does not shout, it shines. You no longer crave recognition, because revelation itself has become your reward. You do not need validation from voices that once misunderstood you. Heaven's well done now echoes louder than the world's applause. This glory carries weight, not glitter. It is not the light of stage or spotlight, but the light that glows from within, a steady radiance that no darkness can extinguish. The trials that stripped you bare have clothed you in authenticity. The rejection that once pierced your heart has become your reminder that you were chosen, not for comfort, but for calling. Every warning you received was love disguised as urgency. God was never trying to scare you, He was trying to spare you. He interrupted your path not to block your blessing, but to redirect it. Each divine no was a hidden not yet. Each closed door was protection from paths that could not hold your destiny. Now you see the full picture. What felt like loss was preservation. What felt like silence was strategy. Beloved chosen one, you are stepping into the realm of restoration. The Lord is not giving you back what you lost. He is giving you back multiplied versions of what was meant for you all along. Relationships will return purified, opportunities refined, dreams resurrected. But even greater than what you receive is who you have become in the process. You are no longer the same. Your spirit carries wisdom forged in waiting, authority tempered in humility, compassion born of pain. You can speak peace into chaos now because you have survived your own. You can lift others because you know what it feels like to fall and be lifted. The warning was not wasted. It was the womb of your transformation. The glory after the warning also brings new responsibility. To whom much is refined, much is required. You are now a carrier of light, and light cannot hide. Wherever you go, hearts will sense it. Conversations will shift. Atmospheres will change. Burdens will lift, not because of your eloquence, but because of your essence. You have become a walking reminder that grace works, that mercy restores, that God still redeems. Beloved, this is your becoming. The pain has produced purpose. The trembling has become testimony. You are heaven's message written in flesh and fire, a living warning turned to wonder. The love that once convicted you now crowns you. The same voice that whispered, "Come back now," declares, "Go forth." And as you step into this new chapter, know this truth: you will not return to the shadows you were rescued from. You have crossed the threshold where mercy met obedience and became glory. You are sealed, sent, and shining. The warning was love. The fire was mercy. The shaking was alignment. And the glory, this radiant, silent, steady glory, is your inheritance. Rise, chosen one. The world is waiting to see what heaven has made of you. Beloved chosen one. If these words have stirred something deep within you, if they have awakened memories, healing, conviction, or quiet strength, then know this: you were meant to hear them. This entire journey, from the first whisper to the final word, has been heaven's reminder that you are still called, still chosen, still covered. You have walked through warning into wonder, through pain into purpose, through ashes into anointing. But the message was never meant to stop with you. Just as fire spreads by contact, what you've received can ignite hope in another heart. If this journey has touched you, take a simple step. Click like as your silent Amen. Your way of saying, "I have heard and received." When you share this message, you are not just sending content, you are sending comfort. A lifeline to someone silently crying for direction. And when you comment below, let your words carry faith. Write what this message has awakened in you. Testimony has power. It turns private healing into public hope. Your story may be the very key someone else needs to unlock their breakthrough. Subscribe, beloved, if you haven't already. Not for numbers or recognition, but so that your spirit stays connected to this flow of truth and light. Each message that follows will build upon the fire already burning within you. You were not brought here by accident, you were drawn by design. So let your engagement today be more than digital, let it be devotional. Lift this word higher so others can find it. Sow it forward in faith. And, together, we'll keep this flame alive, a light that keeps guiding God's chosen ones home.